Police Commissioner Fannie Masemola has launched a probe into Mpumalanga top cop Semakaleng Manamela. Now, Manamela was recently suspended for allegedly taking 2.1 million rand in state-funded gifts. Last year, a forensic investigation into Manamela took place, or Masemola, I beg your pardon, took place. It looked into how the provincial commissioner's alleged use of public funds to purchase furniture and various household items in order to celebrate her July 2021 appointment. Let's unpack the latest developments. Bring in Lesiba Thobakgale, who's with the South African Police Union. In fact, he's a spokesperson of the organization, and joins us via our video link this morning. Great to have you on the program, Lesiba. Thanks very much indeed for making time. Let me just begin by getting broadly what the union's reaction to this is, because we remember, of course, that even though Manamela was suspended, the High Court in Pretoria at some stage overturned that suspension because it found that due process wasn't followed.
Thank you, Ayanda, for having us. Greetings to your viewers back at home during this festive season. As the South African Policing Union, we are indeed quite aware of those allegations and also the issue that revolves around the Board of Inquiry to look into the fitness to hold office of the Provincial Commissioner of Mpumalanga. And it is important for us to clearly say that allegations remains to be allegations until they are proven. And there is no one who is above the law, because all of us have to abide with the rule of law that applies in the country. And further to that, there has been a cloud for the longest time hanging around the head of the Provincial Commissioner of Mpumalanga. And that on its own is really creating an issue between the level of trust between the Provincial Commissioner and also her senior managers and also the junior members. Because imagine in a state of policing in a province to say if there's such a cloud around the Provincial Commissioner, what would the members say? What trust would the members have when it comes to their provincial commissioner? So there has been a whole lot of issues around Mpumalanga, which include where there's other senior managers as well, Ayanda, who were edged. There was a station commander as well who was unlawfully or illegally suspended. And as an organization, we fought for that station commander and was reinstated. So we are saying that this Board of Inquiry should make sure that they go through everything, they follow everything that has to be done, all the evidence that has to be let it be done, so that the cloud that is hanging in Mpumalanga can be dealt with. And also the National Commissioner, we are also calling on him to finalize this process, because justice delayed, at the end of the day, it becomes justice denied.
Absolutely.
There's also a challenge when it comes to the issues of politicians who are also interfering in terms of policing there, where they would call meetings and then they would be making some statements against other senior managers in the province. So we are saying that politicians should stay away from policing. We appreciate their support, but they should know the boundaries thereof. So the whole lot of issues around Mpumalanga, they should really be finalized.
Yeah, and you know, there are already reports of a looming leadership crisis among police in Mpumalanga because of this cloud that you speak of. And there's no overstating how important it is for things to be wrapped up speedily, because in the absence of that, there's a vacuum that is filled by all kinds of things, including the kind of political interference that you speak of.
That is true, Ayanda. We are calling on the National Commissioner to make sure that this process is finalized as soon as possible, because the level of trust between senior managers and the Provincial Commissioner, and that even goes to the junior managers. If you could, junior members, I beg to say, that there were also some junior members who were illegally transferred as well, because of there were allegations against other members who were working at that unit, and then the rest of the members were also transferred. So you can imagine the level of trust, the issue of the trust deficit that is applicable now or that exists between the members, the junior members, between the senior managers, and also between also with the Provincial Commissioner. So for these issues to really be resolved as soon as possible, it will then be able to bring stability when it comes to policing, because policing cannot function when there is political interference. Policing cannot function when there is the trust deficit between managers and also junior members, and also including the Provincial Commissioner herself. So if you could remember previously, we had an issue where we went to Mpumalanga and we were saying as SAPU there that who is the provincial commissioner of Mpumalanga, because there was no clear direction on who was the provincial commissioner at that time. And it is a pity that even up until today, the very same issues which we appreciated at that time, that after an action that we have taken, the national commissioner then clarified that who was the provincial commissioner, but the issues and the cloud still remained for the longest time, even up until now, during this board of inquiry. That is why we are saying that it is long overdue. We need stability when it comes to policing in Mpumalanga. Political interference should be dealt away with so that policing can succeed, so that the center can be holding when it comes to policing in Mpumalanga.
Right. I wonder how far this inquiry you reckon should reach. What should be the terms of reference and the scope of the investigation itself? And I'm asking this because of just how wide-ranging the allegations against the provincial commissioner are. It's not only that she's taken 2.1 million rand in state-funded gifts. There's allegations of abuse of her subordinates, but she's also being accused of taking money from Mpumalanga-based business people, and one can only wonder to what end. So given all of that, just how far-reaching the claims are, how far-reaching should the investigation be itself?
I think the terms of reference, they are clearly given by the National Commissioner when giving the terms of reference to the Board of Inquiry to say up to what extent are they supposed to be going under. But all the issues that we have raised, it's not the first time that we are raising here. We as an organization, SAPU, we clearly raised them with the National Commissioner, which we believe that all of these allegations should clearly be dealt with by the Board of Inquiry, which will also depend on what scope did he give for them to go up to which level. But we hope that this Board of Inquiry would do justice to these issues that we have raised and any cloud that is above the head of the provincial commissioner, so that even herself, she can know where does she stand. Because without that being finalized, we'll keep on having issues that are rising. One would come and say this, one would come and also say this and that, and even the provincial commissioner will also come and raise issues to defend herself. We don't want to see a situation like that. We want stability to come. That is why we are calling for this Board of Inquiry to really finalize its work and have the findings thereof being handed down to the National Commission.
You know, the Mail and Guardian is reporting that part of how this inquiry actually came about was that several senior generals actually came and complained to the Commissioner's office about the treatment they're receiving, allegations that she's trying to purge some of them out. Let's say this inquiry does take place, and in some ways the Provincial Commissioner manages to stay in her job. How advisable is that, given the very clear lack of trust, the breakdown in the relationship that has already happened between the Commissioner and some of these generals, some of which have come very openly to lay complaints against her?
We really don't dispute. We are clearly aware that there is a patch against senior managers and some members within Mpumalanga. But we don't want to put the horse we don't want to put the cart, in front of the horse, because at the end of the day, the Board of Inquiry, it is here clearly to go and look into issues that revolves around all allegations that are labeled against the Provincial Commissioner. We have confidence that the Board of Inquiry that was appointed by the National Commissioner will be able to do its work, and we have confidence that at the end of the day, the outcomes that will come out of that inquiry will clearly show and will clearly give everything that has happened the way that it is, because there's people who go there to give evidence and testify. And that is why we are saying that it should be finalized as soon as possible, because also we are aware that some of the senior managers, they went there to the board to go and testify. So that is why we are saying we have confidence in the Board of Inquiry that they will do justice, so that at the end of the day, we don't have any discrepancies, so that policing can run at the end of the day in Mpumalanga without any issues, without any clouds hanging on top of the heads of anyone in Mpumalanga. But we just don't want to preempt at what would be the outcome of that Board inquiry. That is why we are saying let's give them space, and we will clearly be able to comment further after we know what are the outcomes of that Board inquiry.
One can only imagine how disruptive all of this has been, especially for people who are working within the police service in Mpumalanga. What have some of your members been saying to you about how this has affected their ability to, frankly, do their work?
Definitely, if there's any issues, that are rising between junior members, senior managers, and also the provincial commissioner, clearly it affects the morale of the members. It really affects on how policing should be conducted, because remember, we touched on the issue of trust, that the level of trust is quite important. The senior managers are supposed to trust the provincial commissioner. The provincial commissioner is supposed to have that level of trust when it comes to her senior managers, because clearly they are the first level of defense. That those are the people whom are working closely with her. And when it comes to the junior members, it is important for that trust to be built between the senior managers and the provincial commissioner and the junior members, because the junior members are the ones who are really doing policing work down on the ground. They are the ones who are faced with police killings that we're seeing in this country. They are the ones who are really doing policing work. And clearly they should be appreciated, they should be treated cautiously, they should be treated fairly, not for them to be subjected to anything that will really take their morale down. So the issue of morale in Mpumalanga, it is one that is a great concern to us as the South African Policing Union, because clearly if there is no stability when it comes to leadership, at the end of the day, the morale goes down, because there are others who would feel that they are being favored. Others would then feel that no, they are being disadvantaged in one way or the other. And that is not what we wish to see at the end of the day. We want stability, and we are calling for that stability. And this board of inquiry is the one that will really take an action and lead the right direction to bring that stability within the province.
All right. Lesiba Thobakgale, the spokesperson for the South African Policing Union, thanks very much indeed for your time.